Good morning and welcome to video number 3 of the New In Box engine series, and today's engine is a wonderful icon. I'm not going to say the name of it yet, but it's an engine that dates back to release to production, release to the market 1988, which was a very good year for me. Oh yeah, that's why. It was the reason or the year I got started in this hobby. Anyway, this is an iconic engine that a variation of it is still in production today, I believe, or at least it had a very, very long lifespan. Now, let's look at this engine. On the table here, you will see the 2000 version colored OS box. And hopefully, well, I think most of their boxes, 2 and 4 stroke, were about the same size. But the engine that's in here does date back, at least its inception, to 1988. And I'm going to talk about exactly why I think this is a really interesting version or an interesting example of this engine. So it says OS 4-stroke, and it is the iconic FS91S, the 91 Surpass. This is, just one of those engines that if you ever had 4-stroke engines, you've been in the hobby for a while, you just can't not have one of these engines. It's that special. Now, the very first time I bought a 91 Surpass was probably in either 1991 or 1992, and I flew it on a SIG quick build P-51 Mustang, and at that time the most wonderful airplane ever designed, the Great Plains Ultrasport 60. Hopefully I've got some pictures that I can put up here so that you can actually see them. Man, they were just, it flew those planes very, very well. So let's open this box up. Now again, my New In Box engine criteria, this engine was under $300 off the top of my head right now. I'm not exactly sure what I paid for this, but it was well under $300. This engine, I believe, in its current configuration is as complete as they came at this time. Now, like I said, this box indicates that this is a 2000s version engine, but it's not the Surpass 2, and I'm going to go into why that is. So one of the first things we've got here is, still stapled, is our exhaust. Beautiful, beautiful. And then we've got our header, exhaust header, still stapled in the bag. We've got the engine, and we've got this. Let's move this box out of the way. There's nothing else in there. So we got the engine, and then this extension rod, which is basically just for the choke mechanism. And we've got the manual. So these are the items that came in this box. Now, like I said, I believe that this is absolutely complete and correct, factory correct for this time period, which dates to the the early 2000s anyway. And this bubble wrap is not. I put that in there because it didn't have anything. But of course, this packing material, this foam packing material, is original also. You always want to look at underneath any packing material whenever you buy these engines. Why? Because sometimes, if they're purchased at a hobby store, the original owner will actually put the original receipt underneath there. And tell me, I've seen this several times on engines and been shocked. I looked under there and holy crap, there's the original sales receipt. And I'm like, wow, what a piece of provenance that is, because they will always have a date on them. Anyway, let's get back to this engine. So I'm going to open this up. These things, pretty much nothing to talk about there. The instruction manual and this engine, there's things to talk about here. So as I open this up, you may just say, well, yeah, that just looks like your standard average 91 Surpass beautiful engine. And it is. However, this is not the original crankcase from 1988. So I'm not exactly sure. I'll have to go consult with my my wall poster of the OS engines and see exactly when the 91-2 came out, because there's some key information here. Now, this is not a 91-2, but it has the case, the lower case, that they were going to start using as a 91-2. How do I know that? Right here. See that boss right there?
The 91.2 incorporated a breather nipple there that went up to
the intake manifold here. A design that I've had on several Magnum engines in the past. I personally think it's stupid. Many people love it and they say, oh, you're recirculating oil. I say it's crap. It's just yet another thing to go wrong, because if you don't have it plugged, things don't operate right. I don't like it. I don't care for that at all, and that's all I'm going to say about that. But anyway, so this tells me, that boss there tells me that this is a pre-Surpass 2 case. So they were in the process, they were already in the design phases, and maybe already even released the Surpass 2. We had a slight technical difficulty there. My memory card filled up and I had to abort what I was doing and go flush it. Anyway, back to this. So like I said, this I'm sure so like I said, I'm not exactly sure when this was built. It could have been built at the at the beginning of the pre-92 or 91 Series 2 engine. I don't know. All I know is this crankcase is the latest version, but this still has the old style carb. So this is a stock or standard old school OSFS 91 Surpass, just with the newer crankcase. But other than that, because the 91.2 actually has a completely different carb, has a different intake manifold, and of course these fittings are tapped and have nipples on them. So this is an original engine. Now here's the other thing. This manual here. Now when they went to the 91.2, they had the typical OS manual that opens like this. It's about this size, maybe a little bit smaller, but it opens like this, a booklet style. This is the old school manual, and this manual probably has remained completely unchanged probably since 1988. Maybe some wording has changed, maybe, but typically, unless there's really major things that changed, they're not going to do too many updates to documentation. But this is this is exactly what it looks like. The old fold style paper manual, not like the little booklet style. So anyway, this has been the New in the Box Engine Series number 3, and a wonderful piece of OS engineering and history. This is an engine I'm kind of on the fence on too. I have that Astrohog Bipe, SIG Astrohog Bipe, that needs to be built. This would be a perfect engine for it. I also have a Sato 65 Gold Knight that would be a perfect engine for it. I also have 2 other blank engines that are going to be in the New in Box Engine video series. There would also be good power plants for that airplane. So whether I run this engine or not, I'm not sure. This could be one of those that I just decide to keep like this and sell it. I'm not really sure. Don't know yet. But anyway, thank you all for watching, and I hope you possibly learned a little bit about this engine, what the box packaging looks like, and what you would expect to see in a more modern 2000s version variant of this engine. So, enjoy.